All right, I hope you guys enjoyed part one. If you haven't seen part one of this vlog, I had to split it in two actually for this tour day because there was just so much for us to see all in one day. And so as you can see here in the backdrop, actually, as I'm panning here, this is the area we'll be traveling here today and finishing from our spot in Shiloh, and then working our way up to Har Gerizim, or the Mountain of Blessing. And let's dive in. So you have a lot of history, a lot of interesting stories. You also have, if we back up a little bit, you also have the story of Hanna and Hannah's prayer. And so she dedicates her son to the priest, to Eli, and then Eli raises the young man who ends up becoming the prophet of Israel, and he prophesies for all of Israel, and he basically becomes the main prophet for the nation even. And his name was Samuel, right? So we know the prophet Samuel, who then later ends up, so back to our story with the Benjamite, he's the one who anoints Saul as king, Shaul as king. He anoints him, and then later anoints also King David. And then if you think about it, right, he started here in the tabernacle. He's the one who sits down with King David when he's running away from Saul during the times where David is running away for his life. And they conceive the idea and get the revelation for the temple in Jerusalem. The location, Hamakom, is revealed to them. And so you can just see the history here, guys, from Shiloh to Jerusalem, to the city of David, and then later on with the son of David who builds the temple, the first temple of Jerusalem, on Mount Zion, just above the city of David, as it says, in the north. One interesting fact as well, by the way, is this Byzantine church that I'm in. It's built right at the bottom end of the biblical Shiloh that's up above us here. And then just behind me here in the floor artwork, you have the Star of David. So that's a very interesting historical connection there, that already in the early Byzantine time, they were also using apparently some Jewish symbols, or at least what was known to be a Jewish symbol. And again, there's a bunch of controversy behind that and different opinions. But anyhow, it's just an interesting little fact. And when you come here, you'll get to see that. And you can, of course, look that up and check out more history on that issue.
So I made it, and my sister that's not with us today. She's passed away 10 years ago. Rachel. She was she started here everything. She dreamed that this place will be a tourist place, that tourists can come and live the story again. The story of Elkanah and Hanna in Shiloh, the story of the Shmuel, and she do this, all what you see here. It was nothing here. It was empty, just dust and stones and nothing else. And she worked in a very hard work for money to dig all this place.
Raise the funds and everything.
Yes. So she not with us, but the book about Shiloh is Mukdash. Dedicated for her and for her memory. And this is a strong memory of Rachel in here in Shiloh, talking with people about Israel nation, the born of Israel nation here in these hills in Shiloh.
I hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of history there, a little biblical history. All right, let's keep going on with our journey and moving up to Har Gerizim, or the Mountain of Blessing. All right, so here we are in our last place on the tour today. We had our view or our visit at the Har Grizim, the Samaritan village, the Samaritan archaeological site, and also visiting the Samaritan village. And now we are overlooking here Shechem behind me, or Nablus, as you've heard it probably on the news. This is one of the biggest Palestinian cities in Israel. And then you have Ramallah, of course, in the north here. So here in Shechem, this is one of the most important biblical sites in the Bible, one of them. You have some important biblical stories that take place here. You have Joseph's tomb, you have Jacob's well, and you also have a story in the New Testament with Jesus, who meets with the Samaritan woman. So ironically, not too far away from here, you still have the Samaritans from the first temple period, and that's what we were just visiting. And then you had a woman from that village who met Jesus at the well, at Jacob's well, right? Not too far away from Joseph's tomb. So this is what you have in that story, if you recall. That all happens right here behind me, right here in the valley here, like I said, at Jacob's well, most likely. And so she came from the Samaritan village over here, went down the hill to Jacob's well, and meets Jesus, has that encounter. Because remember, Jesus is going from Galilee up in the north here, and he works his way up towards Jerusalem, which is along the whole path that we took today on today's tour on Highway 60, which is called the Highway of the Fathers. The forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, they all traveled along through this main route, which is today called Highway 60. And some of it doesn't go through the biblical ancient routes. Sometimes it deviates for comfort of modern travel. But for the most part, it's the ancient road of the fathers that they took, and Jesus and his disciples, and all that took place right here behind me. All right, so we're finishing the day here in the Gvaot Winery. It's one of the wineries here in Samaria where they basically produce boutique wines. And you can see behind me here are the vines that produce the amazing wines up here on the mountain. And just an incredible place. And for those of you who know, I've spent many, many months working in these vineyards myself, down in specifically in Shiloh, and up in Psagot, and all over the mountains here, up on Har Bracha, etc. So I have a special place in my heart for these fields and for the produce that comes out of it, which is the amazing wines that these amazing wine owners produce from these beautiful fields. So anyhow, we got a bonus stop here on our way back to Jerusalem. Epic, awesome ending of a very long day with tons of history, archaeology, etc. And now we get to taste of the good of the land. All right, so I keep trying to end this vlog, but it's almost impossible because of just the beauty here behind me. I mean, what a sunset, guys. What a beautiful sunset as we finish the day in an epic way. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, to hit like, and to share. If you share this vlog with your friends, it's my goal to make sure that you get to see some of the most amazing parts of the country, to do my best to help bring that to life to you, to share my experience with you, especially now during the COVID period where the tourism is pretty much dead here. Nobody's been coming to Israel, and this is my way to share this beautiful country with you while we're going through this special time here for us here in history. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week.